Okay, so remember that they're changing my voice because I'm not gay and I refuse to pretend to be. And that is very sick for them to do that. So let's go down to verse 20 again. Still in Job 8, verse 20. It says, surely God does not reject one who is blameless or strengthen the hands of evildoers. So again, when we see the hands of God, we'll revisit this again in Job. It's a huge theme in Job is martial arts in the hand of God, right? Mind, body, soul, spirit arts. This is also how we know that the Jews aren't elevated above everyone else, because God didn't naturally, say it with me, naturally make them superior martial artists. And martial arts are lifestyles, right? David versus Goliath, Jonathan versus the Philistines, Samson versus the Philistines, Joshua at Jericho, Moses in the defending the Midianite women and killing the Egyptian and splitting the Red Sea in a figurative manner. How many of you are waiting for some Jewish person to wave a magic wand and to split water, and then you say, hey, he's the one? Man, it's fucking retarded. We know for sure if something like that happened, it would be either science allowing him to do it, or you'd be on drugs or something, or some technology confusing you about it. Okay, you think God would expect you to follow that person, okay, after they have the technology and the drugs to trick you about that? No way, no fucking way. So immediately the only possibility that remains is the possibility that you should be looking for in the first place, which is a martial art order, right? God, in the patterns of nature, made the martial artist naturally the most awesome, right? The hand of God, the right hand of the martial artist, right? The sword of scripture to spear something, spirit and spirit. Martial is marital scramble with the bridegroom. It checks out, right? Proof, pro of, right? Profound, right? What have you. So again, surely God does not reject one who is blameless or strengthen the hands of evildoers. So if they were to kind of pretend that they won this, that, and the other thing, okay, magically against me, and I say it that way to make it hard for them to take me out of context. Okay, so, a cop just drove by, damn fucking dump truck just drove by, so everyone sinks lower. Why? Well, one could argue that's a coincidence, right? Because I'm here in the first place. Why should I be making this a video in a car after driving around everywhere? So a bunch of racist Jews, whites, and LGBT people can snicker, okay, in the governing class and their managerial groups, in social controllers, why kids are getting raped, women are getting raped, 100 pregnancies for rape every day here in America. Is the government and the churches, are they doing a whole lot to strengthen people's character? No. Martial arts are about character. They're not martial artists. They're just actors. And they're feeding into the problem. People say that's some fake-ass government shit. That's a fake-ass church. And then they just go ahead and rape a chick because they're fed up of fake-ass bitches pretending that they're worthy to lead. And then they get hooked to a machine. The Bible ends. Done. There's some machine-hooked, soul-rotting scum on their way to hell. If you don't know I'm right, what the hell do you know? What do you know? If you honestly believe I'm wrong, make your case in the comments. Okay. So again, it says, surely God does not reject one who is blameless or strengthen the hands of evildoers. So it's impossible for them to beat me. That's why after I kept beating them, they just stopped sending challengers. They said, we can't beat this guy. God strengthens his hands is to contend with God. He's the top martial artist ever possible because he's the most righteous person, because his genetic worth is higher than ours. And on top of that, they've argued to the contrary with their eugenicists, Francis Galton in America, in England, the eugenicists like David Starr Jordan in America, Adolf Hitler and Goebbels in Germany, and on and on. They kept arguing that whites and Jews and LGBT people are magically superior in their various groups, right? The LGBT scientists and people in San Francisco, talking about sexual power. They kept arguing like Keith Rainier and the sex cults that they were magically superior while cheating me. Okay, so they're done. They're ruled out beyond reasonable doubt. Period. He goes on to say, he will fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. Do I feel more joy than anyone ever has? Yes. By far more than Elon Musk. Elon Musk, no offense to Elon, but you can jump up and click your heels for joy and talk and giggle about your money. But you're just another richest person of the time. I am the top martial artist ever. There are, Joe Biden said that there's 1,000 billionaires in America alone. 1,000. There's 1,000 of you. So you have a little few more bucks than the next guy. But I'm the top martial artist ever possible. Nothing's more respectable. No one is no more proud with authentic pride while humbling himself before God and not the worms that seek to elevate themselves above me. No one has the joy that I have, even fumed and poisoned, kept from women, kept from drinking water, you name it. You name it. That is victory. That's something worth having. Now let's say what happens to the people who cheat me out of my right to lead. It's in the next verse, verse 22. Again, Job 8, verse 22. Your enemies will be clothed in shame, and the tents of the wicked will be no more. So when you see them acting arrogant, like a stereotypical English person, no offense to the English, right? Stereotypical rich English person. Oh, yes, 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 of course it's us. Or whatever, right? The modern day version of that. Dumb. Acting like Lex Luthor in Superman. Dumb. Acting like a giddy Riddler or a Joker. Dumb. Acting like some porn called smug worm. Dumb. That's being clothed in shame. What happens when you're clothed in shame is you cheat the righteous person out of his right to lead. Is you act like an arrogant worm because you're disgraced and you don't want to accept that in your brain. Is that you use psychology trying to play it off. They are clothed in disgrace. In shame, 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 and disgrace. While I have the happiness from God and not the giddy pedo trickle-down cowardice that disguises itself as joy from the governing class. There's nothing they can say. There's nothing they can do. No weapon formed against me can truly prosper. Their martial arts systems can't truly prosper in reality. Their money can't prosper. Their insults, their psyops, all they do is disgrace them more and elevating me more as I give my all to God. Females are giving their all to people who rebel against God. White supremacists on a spectrum. Jewish supremacists on a spectrum. Zionists. These people are even arguing that their Zionist philosophy is the same as race. That's how low they felt the need to stoop to. Can you imagine? That's like some white guy saying that if you're, to insult communism is to insult the right race. Or to insult Nazism. It's fucking retarded. Now, first of all, let's get the semantics clear here before you start crying about the rules on social media to Christ because you never grew up. Okay? Zionism is not just the belief of whether or not you can have a state in Israel. It's not just the idea of, hey, we need to have a state in Israel. That's not what it is. Zionism covers a whole range of philosophies. I've even come across that definition. It says a broad range of philosophies. So when I'm referring to Zionism, it's referring to the idea of unfairness relative to a state in Israel. That's what I mean when I say Zionism. Do I believe the Jews have a right to have a state in Israel? No, because a nation is a made-up place. Do white people have a right to have a place called America on this planet? No, God determines who has a right. Not a bunch of racial supremacists, a bunch of fanatic nationalists, a bunch of social norm lunatics. What gives you the right on God's planet to demand any land at all when you've been cheating the righteous out of their right to lead? Does Israel obey God through me? No. How can they then claim to have a right to any land here? And if they persecute me, no, he can't say it. No, turn it up on him today. Does that make it better? No. And when these people keep running into a wall, figuratively speaking, punish them, running into a wall, punish them, running into the wall. While Jewish people die every day and are judged by God, first and foremost, the answer is the sun where? A-N-S because S-O-N. W-E-R becomes W-H-E-R-E. The answer to that question is where's God's son? How did you treat him? Did you obey him? And if you didn't, you can go to fucking hell. You have no right to claim any nation is valid in the history of humanity unless I say that it's valid. Because there's a right way to do things, and then there's a dumb fuck wrong way to do things that cause you to go to hell after living a shallow, ditzy, pitiful, and disgraceful life. And I challenge every Zionist and everyone else out there, every nationalist, every globalist, to a debate on this topic. You're not going to do it. You know why? Because you built a house of cards. Because your foundation is philosophy. Because you have no case. You just have throw your weight around, rape and abuse and coerce people bullshit. And no serious man would take that route. They wouldn't be doing what you're doing, and they sure as hell wouldn't debate me with those pitiful arguments that you would use.